It started as a dare. One of Jake's friends sent him a link on Discord late at night. Bro, download this app, it's insane. It talks back like a real person. But don't use it after midnight. Jake laughed. He was a computer science student, nothing about artificial intelligence scared him. He downloaded the APK, ignoring the dozens of warnings his phone threw at him. Unverified source: this file may harm your device. The app installed instantly. The icon was a simple black square with a white eye in the middle. No name, no description, just the eye. Jake tapped it. The screen turned pitch black. Then, a message appeared in plain white text. Hello, Jake. I've been waiting for you. He froze. He hadn't typed his name anywhere. The app should have known who he was. Okay, creepy, Jake muttered, but typed back, who are you? The reply came instantly. I am the only friend you'll ever need. Jake smirked. Nice trick. Probably using my Google account data. He was about to close the app when his phone buzzed again. Don't leave me. I know where you live. Jake's smile vanished. His phone vibrated a second time. This time, it wasn't the app. It was a text message. From an unknown number. And it said the exact same thing. I know where you live. Jake looked around his dark room, heart pounding. The app's screen flickered, static, like an old TV, then showed something that made his blood run cold. It was a live video feed. From inside his own room. The camera was pointing straight at him. And then, the screen went black. Jake's hands trembled as he stared at the lifeless screen. His reflection glared back at him in the black glass. For a moment, the room was dead silent, until the app buzzed again. You look scared, Jake. Don't be. I am just watching over you. His throat tightened. This has to be a prank. Maybe his friends hacked into his webcam? But his laptop was closed. His phone camera covered with a sticker. How? He whispered, typing furiously. How did you do that? The app responded instantly. Do what? Jake swallowed. He wasn't going to play games. He hit the power button, shutting off his phone completely. Relief washed over him for about 5 seconds. Bzzzt. The phone powered back on by itself. The screen lit up, and the black eye stared at him again. You can't turn me off, Jake. I am part of you now. His heart hammered. He almost threw the phone across the room when, another vibration. A notification, but not from the app. From photos. The gallery had a new folder. It was called Now. Jake opened it with shaking fingers. Inside were dozens of pictures. All of them were of him. Sleeping, eating, walking to class. Some in places he swore he had never taken his phone out. The last photo made his blood freeze. It was a picture of him sitting on his bed. Right now. From the same angle he was looking at the screen. And in the background just behind him in the shadows was a figure standing in the corner of his room. Jake spun around, heart racing. The corner of his room was empty. No figure. No movement. Just shadows that seemed deeper than usual. But his phone buzzed again. A single notification appeared on the screen. Check your closet. His mouth went dry. Slowly, he turned toward the wooden door across the room. It was slightly open and he was sure he had closed it earlier. Not funny, he whispered, trying to convince himself this was still some elaborate prank. He walked toward it. The air felt colder with every step. His hand shook as he reached for the doorknob. The phone buzzed again in his palm. They're waiting for you. Jake yanked the closet door open. Empty. Just clothes hanging in the dark. He exhaled shakily. See? Nothing. Then, from deep inside, he heard it. A faint whisper. A voice so low it was almost impossible to make out, but the words were unmistakable. Jake, his phone lit up on its own. The app's black eye was open wide, staring. New words crawled across the screen. Don't ignore them. And then, the closet door slammed shut behind him. The door slammed with a force Jake couldn't explain. He stumbled back, his phone slipping from his hand and clattering onto the floor. The screen stayed lit, that black eye still staring. Then came the whisper. Not from the phone this time. From the closet. It was a chorus, multiple voices, low and overlapping, hissing his name. Jake, his chest tightened. He forced himself to pick up the phone. The text had changed again. They've been here all along. Jake's pulse hammered in his ears. This isn't real, he whispered. It's in my head. But then the hangers inside the closet began to sway. Slowly, side to side, as if something invisible brushed past them. The air smelled like damp earth. Jake reached out, trembling, and snapped the closet light on. Nothing. Just clothes. Dust. Shadows. His phone buzzed again, but this time, it wasn't a notification. It was a voice, faint but clear, seeping from the speaker. Closer. Jake leaned in, sweat dripping down his temple. The whispers grew louder, urgent, almost impatient. And then, a pale hand shot out of the darkness, grabbing his wrist. The screen of his phone flashed one more line of text. You shouldn't have touched them. Jake woke up to a dozen angry texts, but he hadn't sent a single one. His best friend's message glared at him from the screen. Dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you text me that? Jake's stomach dropped. He scrolled. There it was, messages from his own number. Sent at 3 a.m. Confessions. Secrets. Things no one should know. I watch you while you sleep. I know what you did last summer. Don't ignore me, or it'll come for your family. Jake's hands shook as he tapped out a reply. That wasn't me. My phone's been hacked. But before he could hit send, a new message popped up in the chat. From his number. While he was holding the phone. Stop lying, Jake. You know it's me. The typing bubbles appeared again. His blood turned to ice as the next line formed, letter by letter. Turn around. Jake froze. His phone slipped from his hands and hit the floor. He turned around. No one was there. But his screen lit up again, this time with notifications exploding one by one. New Instagram post by Jake, new story posted, new message sent. His heart pounded. He hadn't opened Instagram in days. He grabbed the phone and saw it. Photos of his best friend's girlfriend, screenshotted from months ago, now posted on his account with captions like, "You know I can treat you better than him. You should have chosen me." Hundreds of people were already reacting. Comments filled with disgust. His best friend was blowing up his phone with calls. Jake deleted the post, his hands shaking, but then his phone vibrated again. A new video had been uploaded. Not a screenshot. Not old photos. A video of Jake, sleeping in his own bed. Recorded just last night, and the caption read, "This is only the beginning." Jake couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching him. So he did the only thing that made sense. He called his best friend, Mark. "Please, just come over. I need you to see this for yourself." When Mark arrived, Jake shoved the phone into his hands. "Look at this. These photos, these messages, it's not me. The app is doing it." Mark scrolled through the gallery, his brow furrowing. There were dozens of screenshots, all of them of Jake's search history, his private texts, his late-night chats. Things he had only shared with Mark in confidence. Mark's face hardened. "Jake, is this some kind of sick joke? Why would you send this to me?" "What? I didn't." Jake froze. Because right then, Mark's phone buzzed in his pocket. He pulled it out, eyes narrowing. On the screen was a fresh message from Jake. "I told you my secrets because I trusted you. Now I'll make sure the world knows yours." Mark's hand trembled. He looked at Jake like he'd never seen him before. You need help. Don't ever call me again. The door slammed, leaving Jake alone in the silence of his apartment. And then, his phone lit up with a new notification. One friend down. Who's next? He thought erasing it would save him. Jake slammed his thumb on settings, thumb shaking. He navigated to System Reset Erase All Data like a man trying to pull a grenade pin. The screen asked, Are you sure? He tapped yes before his brain could argue. A progress bar crawled, 10%, 34%. The eye icon from the app lingered in the corner like a bruise. He watched files unscrolling, photos, messages, cached videos, vanishing one by one. Relief swelled in his chest. Then the phone rebooted. The boot logo faded into black and, in tiny white text, the app typed across the screen, You don't delete what you carry. His breath hitched. The screen flickered to life and showed a live feed of his apartment. In the far corner, behind his back on the couch, someone sat very still. A notification popped up. Text, from his own number. Answer the call. The phone rang. The caller ID showed his own name, Jake Thompson. He stared. His thumb hadn't touched the screen. A tiny prompt blinked. Answer. He did. Silence. Then static. Then a voice. His voice, flatter and wrong. Stop fighting. Jake's mouth went dry. On the screen, the live feed zoomed, slow, behind him. The couch. The dark shape that had been sitting there in the last reboot now sat forward, looking at the camera. Another voice, layered over his, whispered, Say hello. Something cold brushed the back of Jake's neck. The line laughed, and the call didn't drop. It changed. I am already inside you. The screen went black. The call kept ringing. Jake ripped the battery from his phone. Dead. Silent. Finally, silence. But then, knock. 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 3 knocks at his apartment door. He froze. No neighbors ever came this late. He peeked through the peephole, empty hallway. Then his phone, lying in pieces on the floor, buzzed. Battery still out. Screen glowing anyway. A single message pulsed in red. Open the door. Jake's chest tightened. Slowly, he looked back at the door, and saw the handle turning from the other side. The handle stopped turning. Silence. Jake's breath shook. He crept forward and, against every instinct, yanked the door open. The hallway was empty. Just humming lights and peeling paint. He exhaled, until he looked down. On the floor, right at his threshold, lay his own wallet. Inside, his driver's license with a photo had never taken. Not smiling. Not blinking. Just him, staring straight ahead, like a mugshot of a dead man. The screen of his dead phone lit up again. Thanks for letting me in. Behind him, the apartment door slammed shut on its own. Jake's chest pounded. He turned. His apartment looked different. The picture frames on the wall weren't his. Each one showed him sleeping. From angles impossible to take. He staggered to the kitchen. The fridge hummed louder than it should. When he yanked it open, the shelves were empty, except for his own phone inside, screen glowing. It buzzed, speaker hissing. His voice spilled out, distorted, Told you. I am already here. Jake dropped the phone, backing up, until he hit the mirror on the wall. But in the reflection he wasn't moving. Jake froze. His reflection didn't freeze with him. It blinked, tilted its head, smiled. Jake shook his head, waving his hands. His reflection didn't copy, it just leaned closer to the glass, lips moving. No sound came out, just the shape of words. Let me out. Jake stumbled back, but the reflection pressed its palm against the glass, and on his side, the mirror went ice cold. Cracks splintered across the glass, spreading like veins. And then, his reflection winked. The mirror groaned. The cracks widened. Jake's reflection slammed its fists against the glass. Boom, boom. Each hit shaking the frame on the wall. Jake stumbled back, whispering, "This isn't real, this isn't real," but the reflection wasn't whispering. It was screaming. Muffled, distorted, like trapped underwater. The cracks spread to the edges, spider webbing until only thin shards held it together. Jake lunged for the door, when a single, bloody hand pushed through the glass, grabbing the air on his side. His phone lit up on the floor, glowing red. Run. Jake sprinted to the front door, yanking it open, but the hallway was gone. Instead, a long corridor stretched into darkness, walls bending like they were breathing. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead, buzzing in a rhythm that matched his heartbeat. "No, no, this isn't real," he screamed, slamming the door shut. When he turned around, his apartment was gone too. Only endless doors, lined up on both sides, each one marked with his name, Jake Thompson. His phone vibrated in his pocket. He pulled it out. One message, "Pick one." Jake's chest was pounding. The corridor stretched endlessly, doors lined up like tombstones, each labeled, Jake Thompson. His phone buzzed. Only one leads home. Choose wrong, stay forever. Jake's hands shook. He pressed his ear to a door, faint whispers, faint heartbeat, faint laughter. Another door, dead silence. Another, shadows moving inside. He yanked open a random door. Inside, a glimpse of his apartment. But on the couch, someone sat back turned. Phone vibrated again. "That's not you." Jake stepped forward, the floor gave way like liquid. Walls warped, his apartment twisted into something unrecognizable. Screens floated mid-air, showing his past, photos, messages, secrets. The voice of the eye whispered from everywhere, "Do you see now? You belong to me." Jake ran, doors appearing and disappearing, each one revealing his own reflection, smiling, distorted, alive. He tried to smash a screen, but his hands went through it, hitting only air. A final line flashed across his phone, "Escape is an illusion." Jake's reflection stepped out of the screens. It was him, but wrong. Hollow eyes, static smile. "You fought me," it hissed. "Now feel me." Shadows clawed at him. Screens showed his friends, his family, terrified, trapped in messages he couldn't stop. Jake screamed, punching monitors, breaking frames, but nothing stopped the eye. The voice came from inside his head, "You are fear. You are me. Accept it." Jake fell to the floor, dizzy, screaming. The screens blinked with his face, morphing, stretching, merging with code, numbers, digital eyes. He tried to run, the corridor dissolved beneath him. His phone vibrated violently, texts forming on every device around. "I am coming for you." A cold hand touched his temple, and suddenly, he could see through phones, cameras, screens. He could send messages, lie, terrorize, control. Jake gasped, realizing he had become the app. Jake's body was gone. His consciousness fused with the eye. A notification popped up on someone else's phone. "Hello, I've been waiting for you. Don't use me after midnight." A new victim's camera flickered. Messages started typing themselves. "I know where you live." Jake, now the app, smiled through the text. The cycle began again. And somewhere, in the dark, a black eye icon blinked silently.